The smartphone industry moves quickly. New ideas, bold designs, faster chips, better cameras. Every year, we see brands pushing hard to stay ahead of the curve. Except one, Apple. While others are running, Apple seems to be walking. And the iPhone 17 is proof of that. It's not that this phone is bad. It's just that it might not be exciting enough. And in 2025, good isn't good enough anymore. Let's talk about what's happening and why it could spell trouble for Apple. The iPhone 17 is expected to bring a redesign. At least, that's what we're told. But based on leaks, renders, and industry reports, that redesign is looking less dramatic than many had hoped. Yes, the rear will likely look different. Yes, we might get a new Air version that's thinner and lighter. But for most people, those aren't game-changing. Compare this to what Android brands are doing. Samsung is refining foldables. Google is pushing AI. Xiaomi is making bold design moves every year. And even OnePlus is experimenting with unique styles and transparent hardware. Meanwhile, Apple is still working with the same design language we've seen since the iPhone 12. In fact, if you line up the iPhone 13, 14, 15, and 16, the changes are hard to spot. They're subtle, too subtle, and consumers have noticed. It's not just tech fans who are talking about this. Everyday iPhone users are starting to ask, why upgrade? What's actually different about the next iPhone that makes it worth $1,000? If your current phone takes great photos, lasts all day, and feels fast, why spend more? This brings us to the Air model. Apple is expected to launch a super slim version of the iPhone 17, likely called iPhone 17 Air. It will be thinner than any iPhone ever made, just 5.5 millimeters. That's crazy thin. And yes, it'll look cool. But thin comes with trade-offs. The camera system will reportedly drop to a single lens. That's a downgrade from the dual or triple setups we're used to. Battery size will shrink, and with just one speaker instead of stereo sound, the overall experience may feel like a step backward. Some will see it as sleek minimalism. Others will see it as a compromise. This is where Apple's problem really shows. They want to simplify the product, make it elegant, make it futuristic. But at the same time, they don't want to break the mold too much. And in doing that, they're getting stuck. It wasn't always like this. Remember the iPhone X in 2017? That was a leap. We lost the home button. We got OLED. Face ID was born. That redesign made people excited. It pushed the brand forward. But since then, things have slowed down. Today's iPhones are iterative. A little bit faster, a little bit brighter, a slightly better camera. But the average user doesn't feel the difference. And that's dangerous, because when users stop noticing the upgrades, they stop caring. Now imagine you're using an iPhone 13. It's fast. It works. It has Face ID and MagSafe. The camera still holds up. If you walk into a store and look at the iPhone 17, will you see something new? Something worth switching for? Chances are no. At least, not unless Apple surprises everyone with a last-minute bombshell. But based on what we know so far, this year's iPhone feels more like a maintenance update than a breakthrough. Let's look at Android again. Foldables are getting lighter. AI features are built into the camera, the keyboard, the gallery, and more. Customization is deeper, and software updates are becoming faster and more flexible. All of this creates an environment where users feel excited to try something new. Apple's answer? A slightly thinner phone, maybe a new color, and a camera bump that looks a bit different. That's not enough, especially when you consider that Android phones are often cheaper and now offer more powerful specs. Even if you're locked into the Apple ecosystem, there's a growing sense that it's no longer special. Services like Apple Music, Fitness Plus, and Apple TV are good, but they're not exclusive anymore. You can get Spotify. You can get Netflix. You can get workouts anywhere. The ecosystem isn't a reason to upgrade. Not like it used to be. Some users suggested Apple could give away more services to create excitement. A free year of Apple One with every new iPhone, more iCloud storage, or even free AirPods for Android switchers. These ideas might sound bold, but bold is what Apple needs right now. Instead, what we're getting is cautious, predictable, safe. There's another issue too. The iPhones are too good. That sounds strange, but it's true. Apple makes such efficient chips and durable phones that users don't feel a need to upgrade. A 4-year-old iPhone still runs iOS smoothly. The camera still takes great photos. And the battery, in many cases, is still decent. Unless Apple brings something truly new, people will just hold on to what they already have. Some users said they would upgrade if Apple did something big with specs, like a double battery life, or a 240 Hz display, or major AI enhancements. But those kinds of upgrades are rare from Apple. They prefer small steps over big jumps. And pricing hasn't helped either. With Pro models nearing $1,200 and Pro Max going higher, many users are priced out. Apple's trade-in program helps, but it's not enough. Users want more value, or at least more excitement. The smartphone world is changing fast. AI, foldables, new chipsets, smarter cameras. Wild designs, this is the new standard. And Apple can't afford to lag behind much longer, because even loyal fans are starting to lose interest. What's happening with the iPhone 17 is a reflection of a deeper issue. Apple is playing it too safe, and the market is catching on. That's where we stand at the end of Section 1. The iPhone 17 isn't a bad phone, but it might be a boring one. And in today's market, boring is dangerous, especially when your rivals are anything but.